So, going into the new week, we just had the highest weekly close on BTC, if you can see, right here at 109.2 something. The previous was at 109.050. So, this could either be bullish into the short term. I mean, we shouldn't get a week closing below this week right here. So if it is bullish, it should be an expansion candle next, going higher. But if it is bearish, we could see basically a candle lower forming. But it's all bullshit until it happens. So let's go into lower time frame. So on lower time frame, we're still above previous all-time highs, a bit above. Looks like we're still deviating them. These lower highs are showing us like some sort of weakness, or if someone would treat this as a range, it would still be consolidation for maybe an expansion, maybe a reversal. We don't know yet. So let's go into lower time frame as well. Okay, so price action wise, let me open up my POI. So price action wise, we can treat this actually as a range. So with range low sitting at 100k, 100.7, and range high sitting at, I would say, let's say around here, 110k, 111, or maybe even you could take a range high into here. So if we look this into from higher time frame perspective, it could be actually deviation, waiting for the other side to deviate, and we'll see how this plays out. But as of now, we're getting lower highs, right? We got here, I think on some exchanges we got this high, like, okay, we kind of formed equal highs here. So if we get some bullish structure going on, this could be a good target for the next couple of weeks. But not gonna lie, I'm not seeing a reason if we go above here, not tap all-time highs as well. So yeah, let me get rid of all of this and not open up my most important chart for now, which is the weekly TPO. So on weekly TPO, we can clearly see we have 7-day composite, a 7-week composite, sorry. So starting from May 19th, we have a 7-week composite with values overlapping, sitting into 108.8 till 104.104. So let's merge this all together. A lot of liquidity on 110k to be cleaned. Yeah, of course. Above these highs, it is definitely quite a lot of liquidity above 110k. Like, we have clearly equal highs, but we will see when will we tap these. So going back to our composites, we have an 7-week composite. So a pretty basic view we can have here is 108.8k acting as support and resistance, right? So we flip this, and start trading above it, we potentially move higher. I mean, that's why I don't see a reason of price coming into these highs and not going higher, because if we get to trade above this 8-week composite, we potentially are breaking out of this 7-week range that we have formed, right? So, bullish bearish point of interest and level is 108.8. So, acceptance below would be a good short for a deviation lower towards the 7-week composite value area low at 104. Elaborating on this, we can go also into our quarterly VWAP, our quarterly values, where we have a clean level to act as support or resistance as well. If you remember our previous streams, we talked about if price to be bullish, it should hold above this level, so it could not deviate into our previous quarter value. So as long as we're holding above 108, 107, 108, it is still good for higher. If we manage to get acceptance below and start breaking down, I'm not seeing a reason why we shouldn't go lower. First target being 104 in terms of our weekly TPO and our weekly composite, 104, and second target based on higher time frame being 96k, 96k, which is our previous quarter VWAP. So once we come down here, and if we come down here, we either getting a bounce from here and we're actually rejecting this value. So this could be a good indication for higher prices, even higher than this. And if you are actually notice something here, is that we had something similar here. Basically, it was not our previous quarter VWAP, but as you can see here, we have some lower highs here forming, right? Until price came into a key level, it rejected off it, it bounced off it actually, and then the actual run continued. So I think this was on the yearly, we had a yearly level, a pretty important yearly level. So let me take a look into it. Yeah, actually, if you can see, we had the yearly VWAP, the developing yearly VWAP sitting at, let's say, around 60 to 58k. So price actually formed a kind of a range here, similar value. This was like a couple of months range or more. I can't remember. No, it was a lot more. It was from March to like October, so it's like a few months. So price rejected, actually bounced off our developing yearly VWAP, and the actual run continued, right? So similarly, we also have the previous year value right here. So if we come down to these prices, we will update with new levels, with more price development. So even if we say something now, it might change in the future. So once we come down here, we will have a bullish bearish line in the sand sitting at 80k, let's say. Still, I don't want to pay a lot of attention here. So if I paid attention, it would be into this right here. So if you notice here, similar pattern, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, coming into a developing yearly VWAP. So if we manage to form like a low here, range a bit, and actually continue the uptrend, it would be a pretty good sign for higher. If we get to trade below it, things will change and we'll talk then what will happen. So let me get rid of all of these. Anything I should add on the quarterly? No. Basically, as long as we keep on holding above 108, 107, it's good for higher, at least on the short term. By the time we get acceptance here, and also something I want to show you is if you notice here, we are forming some sort of deviation before we get acceptance below. So if you notice here, we have played it similarly in the past, this right here. So we got deviation into acceptance below our developing quarterly value, and it potentially led to a move lower. Similarly, if we get acceptance below, it could lead to a move lower. But as long as we're keeping above it and we get to form a good quarterly developing value, we can continue higher and higher. We'll see how this develops. So let's get rid of all of this. And now I want to pay attention into the monthly, because into the monthly we have similar development, if you notice, with the quarterly. What I mean is that we have some sort of deviation. We're currently rejecting our developing value area high, right? So by the time we get acceptance below 107, it is basically an indication for lower, right? Because we're actually failing to get a breakout above our previous monthly value. So by the time we get acceptance, it's a big short for me, targeting 104, 103, basically a whole rotation from value high to value low. Because if you notice here, we got a bounce early into the month from previous month VWAP, and if we get to accept back below our previous month value high, it is showing us that this rejection of value was not enough, right? So this for the monthly. Similarly, if we manage to hold above 107, 108, it is good for higher, as long as it keeps going higher, right? Now let's go into the weekly. Going into the weekly, we have formed a clean weekly range, previous week value, with value high sitting at 109.5, let's say, and previous week value low sitting at 107. So this could get us some good intraday plays. For now we have short running, if you manage to get into the short from like a deviation of previous week value high, right? If we get to continue the breakdown here, we will get a full rotation towards previous week value low. If we bounce from here, this could be a good play. I also saw it on chat that Skeptical posted it. Sweep of these lows into previous week VWAP for a scalp play into these highs again. Maybe target these highs, take out some liquidity from here, maybe go even higher. We'll see how it develops, because we have some kind of equal highs here, so we'll see. For intraday, we have previous week VWAP sitting right here, so bounce from here is a good scalp play. Acceptance below, it is showing us momentum for lower. We also have some equal lows sitting at 107, 108, let's say, around here, which if I show you on Nexo charts. Let me get rid of all of these. So if I show you on Nexo charts, here we have some poor lows sitting on 107.7. This could be a good intraday target. And by the way, let's go into our daily TPO. If you notice, we talked about price capping both upside and downside into our prior 6-day value. And our prior 6-day value is this one. These 6 days actually formed a good composite that we could have some scalp plays. If you notice, into the past, we also had this level capping price into the upside and also capping price for lower. Again here, if you notice, it was capping upside until it made like a deviation of this. We had some equal lows being taken out, tapped also an NPOC and actually sent higher. So we actually have price getting capped between our 6-day composite, our previous 6-day composite. So we could easily see price trading again into this composite with scalps formed here for scalp longs, scalp shorts into the highs. We also have an NPOC sitting at 109.75. Acceptance below, and it's a good short as well. For longs, of course, slow grind above will be a good play, and potentially a breakdown below here would indicate a continuation lower towards maybe these single prints, these NPOCs. We'll see where this will end up. So summing everything up, let me get rid of all of these. Summing everything up, here are the plays that I'm looking at. We actually kinda this is playing out already. So basically this short was based on a deviation of these highs. Here we had some equal highs forming into here. Let me hide these. A deviation here into like the poor lows that we mentioned earlier, into also previous month by year high. We could also have an intraday play forming here. So previous week sitting into 108.2. Another scalp we would take, but I prefer these poor lows honestly for higher, but these poor lows seem a bit better in my opinion to take out in order to continue higher. Further, we have a clean range to play for this week, maybe until FOMC, because probably we'll have chop until then. Breakdowns below these lows and previous month by year high and previous week by year low, previous quarter by year high is a clean indication for lower, and by lower I mean potentially 7-week by year low at 104, previous month by year low at 103, etc, and 3-month by year high. We will have it covered potentially during next week's outlook if this occurs. Now, deviation plays into the lows for a potential touch of previous week by year low and previous month by year high, along with our previous quarter by year high. If we get this long, I mean, this is an indication for higher into all-time highs, and furthermore, a confirmation would be slow grind above our previous week by year high and our 7-week by year high as well. So this was the outlook. Let me know if you guys have any questions. We have some clean levels to play. I will already set some alerts. I got a small sort running from here. So that's it for this week. If you guys don't have any other questions, let me end the stream, the recording actually.